Hello everyone. This is the video for my task about the definition and classification of data security, the signature data protection. I am Armando Rodriguez, and we're going to start. The first one is my conclusion. The importance of data security measures. Data security measures are essential to protect sensitive information, so it is lifeguard during processing, a transit, and storage. Without this measure, information remains vulnerable to unauthorized access, breaches, and another cyber risk. Quantification of measures is prevent encryption as control. This aim to prevent security incidents by creating barriers to unauthorized access and detect there is measure identify and alert to suspicious activities, enabling organizations to respond before this escalates. Corrective. These measure mitigates damage after an incident, ensuring data recovery and business continuity. Risks and benefits of each measure. Prevent source and strategic data privacy and resource access risks. Many reduce accessibility and MFA can be changed for some users, detected measure progress in real time, errors, and improve responsible times with rises privacy concerns due to continuous monitoring. Corrective measures are critical for recovering for incidents but can be salty and complex, especially if a backup under it. Encryption. Encryption is the process of converting data information a coded format that I can only be accessed by authorized individuals with a decryption key. For example, encryption emails containing sensitive information using a PGP, pretty good privacy of encrypted files with the IS-256 encryption before stopping the closing storage. The classification is provided, and the benefits and protect data confidentiality even if I am interested reduce risk and data exposed in case of breaches. And the risks are in a encryption case are lost, the data becomes an inaccessibility. And in crisis process, power is required for encrypting and decryption with a cancel only performance. Access control. The access control refers to security techniques that regulate who can view of the user information with a computing environment. And for example, role-based access control (RBAC). In a company, HR system allows only AR manages to view the employees. The personal information with regulation employees when have restricted access. The classification is provided. The benefits are the limited data exploited by only account and authorized users to access to sensitive information and help enforce the principle of less privilege. The risks. The risks are misconfigured access control and can be accidentally given unauthorized access to sensitive data. Requires regulation authorities to ensure permission are approved, which the be consuming. Data masking. Data masking involves a modification data to hide of sensitive information and typical by replacing it with a fictional but realistic data. For example, in a texting environment, masking customer credit card numbers by replication actually vaults with dummy data while retaining a for data. The classification is provided. The benefits are the protected sensitive data in non-production environment and they reduce the risk and accidental expose, but the risks are poor masking technicals could still expose data parents and the data might need to be unmasked in a critical case which could lead to misuse. Tokenization. The tokenization replaces sensitive data with unique identifiers or tokens that have no exploding value. For example, use a token inside to actually create card numbers in a payment process of system, so transaction as security even if token data enterprise. The classification are prevent, the benefits are they reduce the risk of data breach since the token are useless without the organization data. often complies with strict regulations such as PCI DSS for credit cards. The risk: the token management can be complex and loss the mapping between tokens and original data could disrupt the operation. Requires the security token structure to prevent unorganized access. Multi-factor authentication for Sigma MFI. The MFI requires users to verify their identification through multiple methods, such as password, security token, or biometric scan. For example, logging into a bank account requires both password and one-time code saying you are receiving your mobile device. The classification is provided and the benefits that add the extra layer of security, reducing risk for compromised password and deters brute force attacks. The risk: the user can lose access if they lost their second factor, for example, a mobile device. Implementation and add complexity and inconvenience to a logging process. Intrusion or detection and prevention system for the site ADPS. The ADPS monitor network or system activities for malicious activities and can automatically respond to device threats. For example, an EDPS on-campus corporate network monitors traffic and alert administration if it detects suspicious activity, such as initial launch partners. The classification is detective and prevent. The benefits are identify and prevent attacks in real life and can be proved evaluated into potential vulnerabilities. But the risks are that it have a high chance to false positive, which can overload security teams. And misconfiguration or updated software can make the system ineffective. Data losing prevention or DLP. The DLP is a strategy for identifying, monitoring, and protection of data prevents unauthorized access sharing. For example, DLP software installed to our corporate email service that prevents sensitive data, like a social security number, for being via email. The classification is prevention and detective. The benefits are the reduce the risk of accident or intentional data leaker, help organization to comply with protection regulation, but the risks are they have a false positive lead can destroy legitimate data transfer and difficulty to manage to high dynamic environment with a large volume of data. Backups and recovery. Regular creating two copies of data and store then security and recover data for a lost event. For example, Business has a authorized highlighted backup a critical system to an officer service along recovery in a case of a ransomware attack or have to evaluate it. The classification is corrective and the benefits are enriched data can be restored in case of data loss, reduce the 2 minutes following data loss event. And the risks are regulated backup in necessary storage and ablation costs. Incorporate an underrated backups and can keep recovery up. Data classification. Data classification is organized data based on a sensitively critical and regulation requirements. For example, like begin complete data into categories like a public, confidential, and restricted, with a different handling rule for each. The classification is prevent. Benefits are the health Foresight protects sensitive data, facilitates compliance with the data protection start, but the risks are the misclassification can lead to EVD or overprotection or underprotection data and requires to going to mention in a user training. Well, this is all for me. Thank you so much for your attention and I hope you have find a great day. Thank you so much.